Welcome back, fam. You're here with another LFG TV team podcast.
Let's go, baby.
Today we're here with our two beautiful guests. We have Summer V and Saini. I'll give some time right now to introduce themselves and get a little background before we get into it.
Let's go.
Kia ora. I'm Summer. I don't know. What else do you want to know?
She's from the UK.
I'm from the UK. My name's Summer V. I'm into fashion and the underground. If you know what I'm saying, yeah?
She's
a bit game, innit?
She's on the scene.
We look.
On the scene.
Yeah, so basically I'm from the UK. I'm just straight 100% colonizer.
Wait a minute.
Wow.
We on that note.
I'm just, I like to be honest in it. So, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Summer. Welcome, Summer.
Hi, everyone. I'm Saini. I am Dustin's sister and Summer's friend.
Yeah.
Nice.
And yeah, that's me. I'm boring.
Nice to have you. Nice to have you on board. So today we've just discussed a few things. We want to get a few male and female perspectives on things that are happening, I guess, in our society today. So we'll get a little kickoff, maybe give it a cross, open up the board and see what everyone's thoughts are.
This is gonna be lit. Summer, do you have anything you reckon we would have a main, like perspective on with a male and a female?
Drugs.
Straight out the gate, yeah, I think drugs. Topic that.
You said something on the table when we were talking. Very controversial, but very out there, very straight to the point.
Controversial.
Did I? I feel like the only thing I said was
Controversy.
Jesus. But did I?
Did you say Jesus or cheating?
Cheating.
Okay, cheating.
Cheating.
No,
I don't think cheating's controversial.
I mean,
It's universal.
It's universal.
Universal.
oh yeah.
black-
Oh no, I
it's
actually said
not
Jesus,
black
but I
and
mean,
white.
yeah, I guess cheating.
Cheating?
I love how
Cheating.
you
Cheating,
say Jesus
eh?
and cheating in one sentence. Lord.
I mean, Lord, you
Lord,
need
let him
the
not-
Lord after
let him not
you get
lie on
cheated
your
on,
name.
So, I think maybe the topic is like, who do we think cheats the most?
Who do you reckon cheats the most?
Men. 1000% men.
You know what?
Men are disgusting.
Honestly though, no, I think men are just
That's what we're going for.
men are.
Men are my ick.
Name your X-Men.
Just double checking my mic.
Men are.
So you reckon guys cheat more, yeah?
And why?
1,000.
Why?
Say why. Say why you reckon
I mean,
guys
you're
just
men.
Say, it. Just
Say
it.
why.
Just say it.
I would like to know where that perspective of men cheat more come from.
Yeah.
Because I don't know one girl in a relationship whose man hasn't cheated on her.
Oh, period. For real though.
That's so
Nah,
sad.
For real though.
So sad.
For real. There's not one girl I know.
Yeah.
There hasn't been cheated.
Not
Trolls.
that hasn't been cheated on or
Hasn't
like
been cheated.
he's been unfaithful or just like.
or like 1%. Like of all my friends, like 2 of them have a really good man.
I guess we're the special ones, guys.
Put your hand down.
We haven't cheated.
You know what? We're just gonna edit this part out
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
a new segment called Liar Liar. No, just kidding. Yeah, no, for real though. But I think
Malcolm's like shaking him his boots.
Say something, Malcolm.
Malcolm, bro.
yeah. What's the response?
Tell me you're guilty without telling me. As soon as we said cheating, men went.
Quiet, cricket.
I feel like
And then Phil went. My wife watches the show.
She does.
I want to give.
Shout out to Phil's wife.
Yeah.
I want to give the panel to the guys because I feel like we're on the back foot.
You're a guy, so let's start it up.
But
Me, I'm supposed. Okay, I'm a guy.
Oh,
Let's speak on it then.
You go.
So I reckon there is some truth in that when you say guys cheat more, but I believe girls cheat just as much. How about that? What do you reckon?
I mean, not groundbreaking, but you're probably right. No, I think men get caught more.
Yes,
I think
yes.
women.
That's what I believe.
No, but like I think in general, it's more like
waiting my
it's
turn.
normalized for men.
Yeah, it's normalized. for me.
Whereas yeah, there's a culture nowadays where like if your boy cheats, you're like, oh, all good, I won't tell his missus. Like there's only loyalty to, but like I just don't understand why men have such loyalty to a toxic behavior or like culture, because it's just like Like, I get it, but if you don't want to be with her, then just break up with her. Like, move on. You can't, like, have it and then want to go do other stuff. Like, I just think that's immature, which is why I'm like, men do cheat more. Because they just don't make up their mind properly. Or they're just not in an emotionally mature state to, like, be able to be like...
Their brain is, like, not fully developed.
For real.
But...
Again.
Well, I've seen a video on social media, and it's a girl herself talking about cheating. And she said guys cheat, but they're like made to mate. Like, do you know what I mean?
Oh,
like
here we go.
They cheat.
We do not. No. We don't claim her. I don't know who that is.
You're backing up the right tree.
But
Choose the wrong one and the right thing.
Let's get into this.
he goes like she's saying that a guy goes cheat, he goes does what he do, and then goes back to his wife. But when a girl cheats, she cheats emotionally as well.
It's a different level.
And like wants to be with the guy.
I want to ask the boys first. I'll ask you guys. When a guy cheats and say gets with another girl, but he's in a relationship, do you reckon even he can come back and still love his girl the same? Or is it like
It's different.
do you reckon it's he still loves the girl? He can come back and be like,
Okay. I guess what those was trying to say is that when men cheat, it's for pleasure.
Yeah.
When women cheat, it's an emotional attachment.
For emotional pleasure.
Nah, men also cheat because they're insecure.
Get
like
out.
men will cheat. For real though. But like men will cheat with like, it's like the concept of like, I've got $10. I see 50 cents on the ground. Like men will be like, I need that
that's a
50
hard
cents
analogy.
too. I need that 50 cents too. And it's like, brother, you just got given $10 as well. Just like leave it. But no, men do cheat emotionally, but what I don't like is the man that'll like also emotionally manipulate their girlfriend at the same time, be like, I don't, and then be cheating at the back. I'm like, sir, go away.
I agree.
Yes, I agree.
No, I hate that narrative. I hate the narrative of men can just go out and sleep with multiple other women
For real.
and come back home and love their partner the same. Like, no, a part of love is respect, and what you're doing is disrespectful to your partner.
Absolutely.
So don't like, you cannot differentiate love and respect. Like, you can't say you love your woman and be out here in the streets disrespecting her.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So we can't. So we agree. So you're saying that.
Look at him because his wife watches. I agree.
But I'm trying to help this guy explain his point. We agree.
Yeah,
But what
we
he's stating
agree.
is a fact that
But what I'm
men-
saying is we are repopulating the earth.
Man, oh my God. What in the Nick Cannon spokesman?
No way. I was
This
just
guy just
kidding.
pressed his own cancel button. Cancel all his social medias right now. Right now, go cancel him.
He said populating the earth.
He goes populating the
He said populating the earth like
First
we're.
of all, your species is dying. Get it together. No, that's so horrific.
Because me and Saini have spoke about this in our own social group in a thing, and I've said this before, and I stand by this. I feel like every guy will always have that side of them will be like where they'll, that side they would wanna, explore other women. But here's the catch. Here's the catch 22. Yeah, let me say this.
Go 45.
If a guy loves a girl enough, he is willing to curb that urge for her. It is always going to be there. And it's a decision. It is a decision. Yeah.
Keyword.
It is a
choose.
decision. It's
Choice.
It's a choice to be like, listen. Yes, I know. As a man, I have these urges, and I'd want to do all these things. But if you love that girl enough, because it's like that for every guy.
Not all guys.
Not all guys. Majority. If you love a girl enough, it's like, listen. Yeah, you're worth it. The spiritual thing that we have going on, I will not feed into my flesh because I love you that much. Straight up.
So your statement is, I love you so much. I'm willing to be loyal.
Yes.
Okay, no.
Yeah,
Because I
but
feel like that
like-
puts the blame on the girl.
the
Like,
girl.
she has to be worthy
Like,
of
yeah,
your love. Which is
pretty
why
much.
a lot of,
Wait a minute.
No,
but
which
that's
is
what
why
you're saying.
A lot of women
That's
feel
what you're saying.
insecure, and they feel like, oh, this man chose me. Oh, this man is loving me.
Yappa.
He's not cheating on me. When not cheating on a
Guys,
person is the bare minimum.
Yeah, but let me
But,
tell
no,
you,
wait,
but
can
let
I-
me tell you this.
okay.
Yeah, let me tell you this.
I'll finish.
And what you were saying, you're saying, choose that we choose you. But at the same time,
I choose you.
This is hypocritical because you have to do the choosing as well. We both do the choosing. We
Yeah,
both
but-
have to look at. You have to look at me and be like, yeah, I'm willing to be loyal to you as well. It
Yeah,
has to
but-
go both ways. It's not like, oh, so you think you're all that, so you get to choose. No, we both get to choose.
Do you know
We
what it
both
is?
choose to
Do you
be
know
loyal
what
to
it
one another.
Do you know what it is?
Bang.
I feel like men just don't take responsibility for their own actions in regards to like emotional maturity in general. Like they just go from relationship to relationship, and they're like cheating, being a narcissist, being toxic, doing this and that.
But women do the same.
Women,
Like, I mean,
it's not to say, but women are more in tune with their beliefs and like how they feel, which is why when they love someone, they can be like, they obviously they are making the choice, but it's less conscious. It's more subconscious for the woman because they love them and then they choose them. You know, for a man, a man, it should be the same, but they just don't take that time. They don't take that time to reflect and to build themselves up personally. And also in saying that, it's also just a men problem because men perpetuate these narratives amongst themselves where they're like, oh, well, we all do it. And, oh, I won't tell your missus, or I won't, you know,
Look, this is just, the thing is, you're right. And I believe that when women choose to love a man, they really love that man. Wholeheartedly so, that the mind never lingers off to anyone else. I believe that wholeheartedly. But what he is trying to say, and I can guarantee you, it's a truth, that men have a natural man in them that has, you know, and that's why, and, you know, I don't want to go scripture, but they say, you know, the eye is where the root of all evil comes from. It's in men, you know, growing up in this society.
But does it say just male eyes, or does it say eyes?
No,
Girls lust as well.
I'm not saying women don't, but I'm saying that women choose to love, and when they choose to love, they really do. But when men do, when they choose to love, yes, they block off everything else. But it's natural for all boys to naturally be like looking for what's better because they don't know how to value what they have until something happens.
But like how you said,
Does that make sense?
Because what?
Yeah, I just think it's again. I think
how males are.
I think it's the truth. It's what you guys have said is our truth. Because like the thing is like obviously we're talking in generalizations. So if anyone get mad in the comments, it's like no, we're talking about the general. But men will be like, we're just born lustful. I don't believe that. It's like saying somebody's born evil. Like, I just don't believe that. Like, I believe that there are stereotypes about men that are like perpetuated in society, and therefore you are like, it's okay to do that. But I mean, yes, there's like human nature.
Yeah.
But if we're being real, saturation of multimedia, porn, all of those things have told men you can lust after anything
That's
you
what
want
I mean by
in your
society.
head, which is fine. But like, that's not something you actually have to live by. Like, I think it's a truth in society, but I don't think it has to be every man's truth because there's lots of men that they're like, I've only ever loved one woman. And like, I mean, people will cap me for this, but like my mum is my dad's first. Now the guys will be like, no, your dad, no, for real. Like my dad never like, and it's always been my mum. And like that for some people might just be like, nah, that's actual cap. But I know for a fact that, and like it's never been a topic of conversation of like, no, naturally I'll lust after other women during a marriage.
I'll
during
be
a
honest,
relationship.
Clarified exactly.
I'll be
what
honest
I'm
with you.
trying to
Okay,
say.
cool, yeah.
I'll be honest with
That's
you.
it.
That's the special case that we wish for everybody. What
Like the
that's
exception to the rule.
That's the exception of the rule, yeah. But
Can-
but in saying that, like how you guys, I'll bring up the point how you guys said in the beginning where you guys said this. You guys go, oh, so you're saying choose us, but another thing that I don't think about women when they beat up guys for having standards, just as much as girls, because girls have a list of things when it comes to men. But when a guy has it, it's like you can do all that. You can. I feel
That's
like
some girls. I mean, I don't know what girls you're hanging out with, but I get you. Yeah, it's definitely there. But like,
But I'm saying, at the end of the day, we both have to choose, and majority of the cases is the guy. It's a sacrifice for a guy to be like, I love this girl so much that I'll curb this instinct, and it is true. It's true because at the end of the day, girls and guys are different. We are different in the way that we operate, in the way that we love, in the way that we talk. But at the same time, like we always have this talk with
about
who wears the pants and who should be leading the
pants
relationship.
aren't real. That
Yeah,
is,
nah, I know.
that's it. Yeah,
But
It's a hoax.
it
listen,
really
listen,
is.
the thing that I believe in the most
It's
is
a tool
that
to oppress women.
I feel
Period.
like girls. I feel like men have their strength and girls have their strength. And
Yeah,
we should work at those
1000%,
things. Work as those
1000%.
things. If a bear came to attack us, the kids will look at the dad. It's a natural strength. It's not like it'll build like that.
I don't know. It depends on the relationship. 'Cause
I get the
Yeah.
generalization.
you know
I get
what
the
I mean?
generalization.
It's like
But-
we have our strengths
Yeah.
and we should work at this.
Yeah.
It's no, I'm better than you.
Yeah,
You're better than me.
No
It's
one's
none of
saying that. But for me, like, honestly, I can take that kind of mindset from 15-year-old boys, 16-year-old
Yeah.
boys, 17. When you start pushing 21 and you're still out here doing all of that, talking like that, like, oh, but it's just because I'm a man, and I'm because grow up,
Cheating's wrong.
grow up.
It's not
Yeah.
that.
Like
Cheating's
grow
wrong.
up
That's
and
wrong.
like you should, like, it's nature versus nurture, and at this like nature drives you to a certain point, and to another point, that's where your nurture comes in, and that's when you can literally unlearn things and learn new behaviors, learn new mindsets. And I feel like that's where, like, and obviously talking in generalizations, that's where men really lack, is they get to this big old age and they're still doing things because they blame it on their gender. But it's like, bro, read a book, like,
Yeah.
do better.
I agree
So
with
that's
that.
exactly, I 100% agree, especially with what Summer said. That truth is true within this society.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that's
absolutely.
why
Yeah.
it's good that you say that it's, I mean, at a certain age, when are you going to start unlearning those type of behaviors?
Yeah. And but then that also brings into question, like, that's what I mean by men perpetuate these narratives. It's like, it's dads putting it onto their sons, like how to be a man. And they say, oh, the man's like this and he gets women and he sleeps around and he does that. But it's like, bro, like that, no, that's not what we should be teaching our sons. Must be nice to have a dad.
At the end of the day, I reckon,
Shout out,
I reckon,
shout
I reckon at the end of the day, wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
And we're just saying it from a male perspective of what we feel and why people actually fall. But at the end of the day, wrong is wrong.
Yeah, 1000%.
And it's important to know our nature as a man so we can overcome it. So we can beat it. So we don't go like, why do I feel like this? Why do I want to do this?
Yeah, but
once
I think
we
what
are,
Siri was trying to say, it's not our nature.
yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like,
I agree with
but
that.
I think unintentionally, you don't realize you're saying it's a man's instinct to cheat, or like to
No,
want
no,
to
no,
cheat.
no, no,
No,
not
I
to
know
cheat,
that
not to
that's not what
cheat,
you're
no.
not saying, but what you said. Like, I know what you're saying,
Yeah.
but what you said was like, a man will be with a girl and then he'll be like, oh, it's natural for him to look over there. But in
yeah,
reality,
Yeah.
that what you're saying without not meaning to say it is that it's a man's instinct to look around, which for a lot of men, that's not their instinct, because that's not what, but then again,
Wait,
like,
wait.
I don't agree.
I blatantly
Mm-hmm.
Can I have food
I'll
for
just
thought?
say
I
that.
have food for thought. If women were raised the same way as men, would we be the same?
no.
I don't know.
No, because the society doesn't perpetuate that onto, like,
No, but no,
that's-
I'm saying like regardless of, like, don't think about the society we live in. I'm thinking hypothetical. Like, you know how we talk about, oh, it's in their nature and it's in their stuff. What if it's just the nature that we've nurtured into society?
I don't agree with that. I don't agree.
No, I think you're on the money about that, because like gender is a concept. Like, if you would be like, what's a woman? Everyone has a different
A social
Do you
construct.
got it? So like I think that's more what she's like on. If there was like no society, if there was no like rule book, if there was no like how to be a man, how to be a woman, boys wear blue, girls wear pink, how would women and men actually respond? And I think that's a conversation none of us could really have.
Yeah.
That's been like set from the day dot. But like simple things, like people are like high heels. You automatically associate a woman. High heels were actually made for men. Do you know what I mean? Like there's stuff like that that's been like
Really?
yeah.
they
I
were.
don't know that.
See, exactly. You know what I mean? But like you would, that type of stuff is not. They perpetuate a very specific image so that you buy into everything that's male related. Like, for example, male versus female shavers. Why are the girls one's pink? And why are they all not as sharp? But then you go to a male
Not as
section.
sharp.
No, for real. No, for real. For real. No, for real. They're like not as sharp. No, for real.
My shavers.
No, exactly.
yeah.
Because it's like, oh, men, like, and some of that's genetic, but it's like the marketing of women products versus male products. It's always like the men are like grey or blue, women are like purple or pink. It's like, I actually don't like either of those colors. I actually like red.
Yeah.
Isn't there like that?
But this is all hypothetical.
Yeah, again, it's all
This is
relative.
food for thought. Food for thought.
At the end of the day, I see where you guys are coming from, and I get it 100%. But I feel like God has, and we can't. We are, but we have
Us?
been engineered. We have been.
I'm pretty sure
when
we ate it, but
when we talk about God, we have been engineered specifically for the way we are. We can't, like, when we start talking like, oh, now we can like nurture ourselves into like these beings. I feel like God has specifically made men and women different for a reason.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that.
Agreed.
100%.
We can all agree on that.
And
I think God made people just to
but
be
at the end of the day, like I said, there's our fleshly like lustings, and I feel like there's our spiritual side as well. And I feel like every person, man or woman, should tap into that side, because that's the side where we love unconditionally, where we do these things.
Wait, sorry, are you saying we love unconditionally from our lustful side or the other
No,
side?
from the spiritual side.
Okay, copy.
And I'll be honest with you, and I've always said this, Husseini, I feel like when women come out the box, they almost like spiritually in tune with the spirit, like they're spiritually in tune. That's why they're more faithful. They're more like, there's just an air about women that men takes us like a while to get, because we're like, I'll be honest, we're a bit thorough for a while, and I'm not being stink
I
to
think that's
men.
biological, like don't,
Any thoughts? Also?
no, like genuinely,
Your
I think,
brains don't fully
yeah,
develop.
no, genuinely, it actually is like
Men,
till later than
Like
women.
right now.
well, we're a bit thorough for a while until we reach a certain age, and we experience certain things where we come back to that place, that spiritual place. You guys are already like naturally gifted out the box.
But the sad thing about that is that like you guys traumatize so much women in the process,
True.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie.
and that's the sad part.
Men and
like it becomes our
So,
fault. that
yeah.
you- but at the
And
same
then we're like,
time,
oh well, we gotta just take it because his brain's not fully developed.
but at the same time, like society also does that to you. Like I'm not saying
Seek
that
help.
there's not actually 100%. But I also don't think there is a lot of help in a lot of communities for men. So we're not saying that like.
men are shit.
No, yeah, I'm not saying. I mean, no, but I mean, I'm saying that there are some men that, like, when I look at their upbringing, look at any of the resources that they had or didn't have or just didn't know how to access them. Like, I mean, I can't say that I wouldn't have turned out the same, or my brother. Do you know what I mean? So, like, as a woman, I'm not saying, and also I need to say, like, gender is also super relative. There might be people that are watching this that don't relate to being a man or a woman. So I just want to honor that, because often I don't feel like I fit into either of the boxes either. Like, I got super masculine energy and I got super feminine.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to say that before we move on, just because,
But do you know, I
Because of me.
feel like
Thank you for clarifying.
I feel like
honestly,
okay.
I think that about you, Summer. Like the fact that you have a masculine and feminine energy.
I
'Cause
do.
I feel like
So laughing.
I feel like
I was mid-sentence.
as a man or a woman, we should be balanced in both energies. Because a lot of guys will look at me and be like, "You're very feminine. You're a very feminine guy," or with the way I dress or the way I move.
Do you have some thoughts?
That's true.
Legit. Like they look at me very like a feminine thing, but I feel like I wasn't always like that. And Sandy knows, when we grew up, I was very almost hyper masculine. Like I was almost hyper masculine.
Cut the camera.
That's shade.
No, sorry, I hear you.
Okay, yeah. I feel like it's about duality.
Duality is duality.
And like I feel like society does this really. It's just another tool of society to oppress people and to put people into
them
boxes.
boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because it's stats, and it helps simple-minded people understand how the world works. But the thing is, like, I totally 100% believe in that. I believe that both men and women carry both energies. They both carry female traits and male traits, and it's the way we cope. It's the way we maneuver spaces. You know, like you can't be mask all the time, because then people just wouldn't want to be around you.
Yeah, you're not personable. You're not personable anymore. You're not.
You got to be able to be holistic.
Yeah. 100%.
I guess, so
Yeah.
duality is something that I feel like everyone should live in,
Straight up.
because I think it emancipates you, it frees you, it makes you feel like you can be yourself, than being like, well, I'm a girl and I should do this and I should talk like this and I should be like this and like these things. And then for men it's like, and I should rub some sand in it and go to work.
Yeah, very like stereotypical.
Not a very good impression, but
and talk 5 octaves lower, and and to be honest, like, because men are very overrepresented in statistics, like jail,
Top positions in companies.
No, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, and mental health user overrepresented, and like user committing suicide and being murdered and stuff like that. And my thing with that is, we live in a patriarchal society. We live in a society that was made for men by men, and now men are looking at it and it's like, well, no, that was a mistake, because again, they didn't address the duality that men have. And so when you guys, especially when it comes to mental health, when you guys feel a certain way, the narrative that's pushed is like, oh, you'll be fine. Oh, you'll be right. You're just being a girl. And, you know, and that's, and, you know, and I hate that because it's almost offensive to be a girl for you guys.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The truth is, hypermasculinity is very unhealthy.
Yes,
It
it
is
is.
very detrimental to
Yes.
a guy. And I'm speaking from first-hand experience.
And a girl.
And a girl, oh yeah. True.
I mean, and somebody that's trans and somebody that's non-binary. It's actually detrimental to everyone
Yeah.
because when you become hyper masculine, you don't need, like, you're just feeding into this stereotype. But I always say, like, too much of anything is not a good thing.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Everything in moderation.
Yeah. Which,
Just not-
sorry, just
But I
men.
guess,
Yeah.
well, I guess this discussion also just clarifies that we really do need each other.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
A lot, be like,
100%.
male,
It's
you
the
know.
yin and yang.
I'll be honest, I
Yeah.
love women. I love women.
Of course.
Like that. Not like that.
Ollie. Shout out to his business.
And I love men as well. I love men as well. I love men as well. That's the duality I'm talking about. Come on.
Biscuit is
Yeah, it is. It is.
Biscuit is here.
Safe space.
I feel like it's very important to have both sides, and yeah, it ain't that deep. It ain't that deep, especially when it
Nah,
comes
it's deep.
It is.
I mean, I get what you mean, though. It's like, yeah, it's both,
Yeah.
I think.
I just think it's
both. It's both,
deep
yeah.
because a lot of people have
Oh yes.
deep rooted trauma
Oh, yeah. That's
been created
So
That
by
part
the
be
society.
a little bit.
like, yeah, I think we've covered off
We literally like
the cheating. Cheating
is wrong.
You know, yeah, cheating is
Cheating's-
wrong.
Cheating's
Okay,
wrong.
male,
Despicable.
female, whatever.
It's
you know,
Yeah,
so
stop
I
ripping.
feel like we've covered that
Stop
area.
populating the earth, bro.
But is
Yeah.
there anything that you guys wanted to?
no. Okay, well, no. Can
Because
I
I-
have a question? I have a question for you boys.
Yeah.
Right. Your mates cheat. How do you advise your mates that cheat?
I don't. Have mates that cheat.
Like your mates that cheat.
With the pause.
So you're
Nah.
telling me your whole 47 years on this earth.
Like, I mean,
Wow, you
you're
really
talking about-
age dropped.
Okay, you're trying to get me like, okay, you're looking back like high school days.
Yeah.
Like when they were all boyfriend girlfriends. Yeah, but I wasn't around then.
But I mean,
The friends I have
like,
now,
have you
very
ever
small
advised
circle.
someone that was
1, 2.
cheating, or have you ever cheated? And what would be the advice that you would have given to yourself?
I'll give you this.
Oh.
I'll open this one. And this is why it's a touchy one. And my wife, sorry, but okay.
I love you.
So this is why I agreed with a lot of the perspectives you gave, and I won't go into the deeper story. But I was unfaithful to my wife at some point within our marriage, and oof,
You got it.
yeah.
You got it, Phil. You don't have to share if you don't.
No, I think I don't think I'll ever get over it. For starters, I know that it wasn't me. Like that's why I said I don't believe it's our nature, because I never grew up like that. I never grew up thinking, like one day I'm gonna cheat on my wife, So when things led to a certain way and it got to that, I could never look at myself the same. But I am grateful for a loving wife, a strong woman who stood by me, because I think any woman would just throw me to the side, like, fuck you. You've done this to me and so on. But for my wife, and like I said, I'm grateful for, she stood by me and she saw something in me that I couldn't see in myself. And so all I can say is to anyone that is, having the urge to do it, don't, because you will regret it for the rest of your life. And sometimes I try to play it off like, I don't know, my friends cheat or whatever, but for myself, that's a different story. So all I can say is find yourself a woman that's going to stand by you through the toughest times, because no one's perfect and you will fall. Like, there are times where you will fall. We may say men are this, women are that, but there are times where we fall weak, You know, and in those times, I hope and pray that you guys have someone that's going to stick by you and get you out of the mud, because I did. And I think that's all I'm grateful for. It's just my wife sticking by me and seeing me for who I really am. Yeah, but sorry, that's...
No, don't apologize. That was beautiful.
And first of all, Phil, love you, man. Straight up.
No, like, I mean, that's pretty effed up that I'm going to be sharing this out, but...
I mean, we don't have to. We can always cut it.
Yeah.
Like if at the end of this, if this is gonna be cut, but if, at the end of this, if you feel like you don't want to air this, you can just tell me. I'll cut it out.
Safe.
But at the end of the day, Phil, love you, man, for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that, G. Because that's why I believe this, and we've had this talk, Sandy. That's why I believe, and here's another reason why I believe this is that it's not clear cut. How people used to say, when you cheat, you're once a cheater, always a cheater. It's not as clear cut as that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not as clear cut as that, and this is why I always go, even for girls as well, girls that cheat as well. I know when girls cheat, it's even more like devastating, but I feel like the same. I give them the same credit as well. Like, it's not clear cut as that. Everybody can change. Everybody has the potential to change, and he's a reason why I believe in that, because I've seen it firsthand from this guy. Thank you for sharing that, Phil. Straight up, love
Yo,
it.
but I mean, this might sound weird, but at the same time, it's made our marriage, like, I don't know, more amazing. Like, we haven't loved each other the way we do now.
That's good.
Ever since we've experienced that, but you know, obviously, it's not something I would like anyone to go through and to experience. But because I also have a mother who went through the same thing, so you know, it was also disappointing. You know, thinking, oh, I'll never be like my dad, and then I did the same thing. You know, and all I can say is, like, well, no one's perfect, but any trial you guys go through and can overcome, you will become stronger for it. So.
Yeah. And shout out to Epi. Thank you, Epi, for taking my man back.
You're
Love
a
you,
strong
girl.
Thank you,
woman.
Epi.
You
Strong
the one.
woman,
You're a
man.
strong woman.
Because if I was
But that's crazy though. It's because me and her were talking about it like today, and then I come in and we're like, "Oh, boys vs girls," and then it was like cheating, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like,
it's a setup.
that's why you guys looked at me. I was like, "Oh man."
You're like, is the FBI listening on my phone?
Your FBI was doing groundwork.
Yeah, so
But
I
listen.
guess the Lord works in
Just-
his ways. You know?
Just to make you not feel like you're by yourself, we are not, innocent ourselves as well. Can I add you on this? Can I add you on this
It was like,
conversation as well?
I didn't say yes.
I ain't
He's
never
like,
cheated.
I don't know this. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know this man.
I have an A.
Cap.
So we go to we're gonna go to a commercial break over this discrepancy on the side.
No, okay, no. Do you know what I hate is when guys say they don't cheat because they didn't make it official with the girl, but they were like
Yeah, who
giving
does
off girlfriend vibes. Wow.
Who does that, bro?
Put a cap on him. Put a cap on him.
Same goes that way. Have you guys ever like your
So is
friends?
that still cheating? Even though
Have
you
you guys ever counted
like,
your friends that have cheated? Or
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I
100%.
snitched.
Wait, that story's not
wait,
coming next
wait.
month. Wait. We're literally talking about today.
does it count as cheating if you guys are on a break?
Yes.
It counts as cheating if you have to ask
It
if
depend-
it counts as cheating.
Yeah, to be honest,
After the break, was she angry?
cheating is like, most people will find cheating perspective based, but like if you're asking,
If it's cheating.
why are you asking? Do you know what I mean? Like if like,
He's
were
justifying
you,
his
did
actions.
you, for some reason, was the girl under the impression you were going to be loyal? If for some reason, and this happens because like it's happened to me, I mean, I'm just going to be, and also I just want to say before we move over that moment, that was so
Yes.
beautiful. I just want to say thank you so much. And like whether we air this or not, there's somebody that's going to relate to that story
Straight up.
so much.
Straight up.
Whether we air it or not, and that's all discrepancy obviously with you and your wife. But I don't want to pass that moment without saying thank you, because
Thank you.
Straight up.
that's like this, you, whether you like it or not, are breaking. And obviously you said, I don't want to be like my dad. There's such a thing as generational trauma, generational curse. I truly believe in it. Some people don't. But with just even talking about it and being vulnerable, I'm a complete stranger. If this ever is, he doesn't know me from a bar of soap, for real. And to say that and to like just own up to it, and then to talk about how you've grown from it, but not in a way like encouraging people to like spice up the marriage. But like, you know, I just want to say that's beautiful and thank you for that. I don't even remember what I was talking about because it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, no,
like
thank you.
I haven't seen, I don't, you know, you haven't seen that a lot. So I just want to honor you.
I didn't even
Yeah.
like. I'm
You
not-
made this a sacred
not saying
space.
you guys
For
are-
real.
Like I didn't feel pressured or anything, but
Okay, I hope so.
I think it just
Natural.
I felt like it,
Natural. Yeah.
it needed to be
Thank you.
shared. So
Thank you.
I feel like
We're talking
we should be
about
playing
if
Wish.
we found out our friends. We found out our friends were cheating.
Oh, I've snitched every time. Well, no, I give them an opportunity to be honourable, and if I know they're not going to be honourable, I'm like, nah. Because the thing is I don't know if it's the same for everyone else, but a good friend pulls up their friend when it's not only bad for who's around them, but bad for themselves. And I just, I mean, I've seen like people that I don't really know that well, like literally cheating in public in front of my eyes, like making it public business. I'm like, so I've even messaged people and been like, hey, I just want you to know I saw that and I don't know the deal. And most of them, some of them will lie to me, some of them will tell me they've told them, I don't know, but I always give them an opportunity to be honourable because every human deserves a chance to actually say it. And if they don't, oh nah, Bob's your auntie, it's me. It's me and that.
Wait a minute.
Bob's your look, yeah, Bob, honestly,
Your auntie, not your
Bob's
uncle.
for everyone, you know what I mean?
Gotcha. Wait
But
a
yeah,
minute.
and then
Bob
if
can be an
not,
auntie if he wants to be.
if not, I will. But this is
Duality.
exactly.
You can be an auntie. Stop.
Oh yeah. But no, yeah. And then if they're not honourable about it, I'm like, you've missed your opportunity to be honourable. And to be honest, that's an indicator. You might not tell them. I don't like this. Like, no, they're just not really, bro. Like you, number one, bro or girl or sis or whatever. You know. If you're not going to be honest
Whatever your
with them, you do
pronouns
not
are.
deserve a relationship with them. If you're not going to be honest with them, because you just don't respect them, regardless. The cheating was disrespectful, but not telling them. After you've been caught in public and multiple people know, you don't respect them enough to like even hide it from other people. Oh, shame. That just for me is like, no.
I'll be honest with you. It depends on the social group. It depends on your circle. I feel like that's why I love these guys, like this circle, because I feel like if I was to muck up, I feel like you will pull me up on it and be like,
bro, I'm close friends with Via.
yeah, straight up.
Come on,
and,
man.
and I feel like if
Don't
Phil
do
was
that to
gonna
the sis.
straight up, I feel like if Phil was to do something, I'll pull him up as well. Be like, gee, you're hosting it. I feel like it depends on the circle. I feel like a younger group.
Why are we blaming the horse?
Yeah, just
And-
blame yourself.
You know, but here's the thing.
Sorry,
I would be more lenient on my bro Andrew. And here's why.
Is his name Andrew? He said his name was Malcolm.
Yes.
Oh,
I
sorry.
would be more lenient on Malcolm just because he's younger.
Liar.
He's in a very
Oh, true.
Wait.
His reason. No.
How old are you?
He didn't even say because he's single.
How
He
old are
went,
you? How old
I'll
are you?
give him
How
some
old are you?
lenience because he's
How old are you?
younger.
How old are you?
Hey, these two are looking at me like
How old are you?
bullshit. This is not you.
How old are you? How old are you?
Nah, how old are you?
21.
Old
I
enough.
mean, you're old enough.
enough.
This is the thing.
Oh, well, I was like 15, 16, but 21. See this guy? I'm 21.
You should have taken notes that he was 17.
No, but the thing is, he's not cheating.
Yeah, he's not cheating.
just
He's not
saying.
cheating.
It's
He's
just
not
like-
cheating.
Yeah, I mean, if you're single, you're single. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Bro, if you want to live the single life
and the slutty life. Be a hoe.
Honestly, if my friend was a hoe, but they were
girl,
single, I'd be like,
get
live
it.
your life. I would,
Exactly.
no
Tell me,
judgment.
John,
If they're
Bill,
not, bro,
Billy,
but it's
anyone.
like when people are in a relationship.
Wait a minute.
What's going on?
Wait.
no.
I'll say if one of your girlmates is still in a relationship and she says she wants to get fucked up and go have drinks, whatever, and she wants to cheat, are you guys backing her up?
Oh,
or?
absolutely not. Are you on crack? I'd be like,
I want to go cheat. I'd be like, don't even text me.
See, like,
Delete my number.
I have a
Text it
feeling
down.
girls are like guys because
Oh,
my
some-
ex-partner has done that.
some groups are definitely like that. We're just saying us as women, we would never do that. So like, if like, and
Like, oh no, like, I'll tell you this.
no,
Like me and
for
my,
real though, there are girls like that. I'm not saying that.
like,
that's
I'll
not
tell
right.
you this. Like, oh, when I was with my ex, we said we're gonna be on a break. And I thought,
so this was personal.
So I was like, oh, okay.
turning
And
into
I,
a therapy
so
session.
I said, go on a break. And then, because you know how people say we're on a break, but it's not like only a 1 week break or whatever. And,
Yeah.
you know, you're still talking to each other and, you know, it's pretty much not a break actually. It's like you guys just distant from each other for a bit. And then what had happened, I slept with someone else. I'll be honest. I slept with someone else. And the shocking part was that I knew who was there on the night. She was like looking after her house. And I knew who was there, and it was one of her friends too. And then I said to her, I slept with another girl. And then she finally opened up and goes, oh yeah, I slept with a guy. I go, when? Oh, he came over on that time we were drinking at the house that we was looking after. And I was like, oh, okay. So I had a feeling that if I didn't say anything, she wouldn't have said anything. You know what I mean?
And you know what? You're probably right.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing is like it's not. This is not reserved for men. There are women that have extremely toxic behaviors.
What's her name?
Shout her out. Nah. But again, it depends on. That's a you and her situation.
Yeah.
There's no one in the world that would be able to tell you whether or not you guys were on a break because none of us know. Genuinely, it's like the typical like friends. What's it called? Rachel and
but do you know what my issue is? Like you guys act like you guys can't communicate. Like you can be like, oh, we're on a break, and then you can actually say, okay, what does a break mean? Clarify to me what the break means. That's what maturity looks like. That's what a man is, you know,
can be
is like, you know, because people like to live in the gray, you know, they like to just be like, oh I know what a break means.
People want to be lawyers
the
about
whole time
this.
they're like, so what can I do and what can I not do in this break, you know, when
honest,
you can literally ask.
I feel like when guys get cheated on, they're like 100 times more cut.
Yeah.
But that's ego.
I mean
that's ego. Whereas when we're cut, it's emotion.
But have you guys ever heard of
that?
what? Yeah. What did you actually want? What was your actual question? I just want to. Because
Does girls do that
like,
too?
and you're right.
Like,
But
Her girl meeting you.
My question was just like, girls like that. Like, do they actually
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Like girls, some girls will like they're like ride or dies for their friend where they'll just like make up a whole story. Like say they're at their house. We're just not those types of girls.
Yeah.
So if you want to cheat and you want to hang out with us, don't come. Just don't.
Yeah, sorry,
contact us.
I'm a snitch.
Oh,
Yeah.
So girls and boys pretty much same. Pretty much.
No.
It's like
Because for us, we have.
For you guys, it's the trend. For us, it's the exception.
There's the society's created the bro code.
yeah, of course.
You know?
Yeah.
And you're
Whereas like we
girl
don't.
code
the girls
too.
don't have like a
Yeah.
lifestyle.
There is a girl code.
There is a girl
But it's not
code.
with cheating.
No, it is. It is. It is.
There,
It is.
I
yeah.
didn't know that then.
There's
Yeah.
a girl code?
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a-
absolutely. There is
1000%.
a girl code.
Yeah, there's
Real
a girl
quick,
code.
don't lie.
Yeah, like
Oh, that's
you don't date your girlmate's ex, or like
Why?
you know,
I don't
Yeah.
agree with that.
You don't date your girl
hey,
mate's
we
ex
didn't write the
because
girl code.
okay, no. I'll tell you why. Straight up, she confided in you, told you the issues, told you what's going on, and you want to go behind her back and sleep with that man. Nah, disrespectful. That's
see,
what it is. No, see, that's just.
I didn't agree
nah.
with this, but what I don't agree with is this. For example, say I break up with Olivia, and I'm not a hypocrite. Say I break up with Olivia, yeah, and she ends up with Philip or Andrew or you know what I mean, or anything. But I'm just saying this is
guy wants no drama.
hypothetical. But I agree with what you said. If they just smashed, I didn't agree with that. But if there was actually like love, I'm not anybody to like stand in the middle of love. If you guys truly love each other and you're my ex and you're my best friend, I'd be like, I'm all for it. If it's legit.
But how did they get there?
No,
Why did they get there?
See,
Is
now
my question.
You're making it complicated.
No. For real though, like if that's my guy, like if that's my friend, I would never even think about it.
Yeah, 100%.
Because
100%.
that's just how like I would never even think about it. So the
me.
fact that at the end they're like suddenly in love.
Yes.
Sorry, I need to say
100%.
If at the end they're suddenly in love, like if it's, I mean that's like a 1 in a million, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, how did they get there is my question, because it's like how quickly afterwards. If it was like 5 years later, then maybe it'd be plausible. But it's just like if that is your friend, you don't just suddenly conjure up feelings for your friends misses out of nowhere, or like being like, oh, you know what? Yeah, maybe after they're not together.
But that's the thing. A girl can move on pretty quick, eh?
No, but they're talking about.
Yes.
Wait,
You want me to tell my story?
Wait.
Wait.
Wait. But how about this? It's a fact. It's a fact.
A fact.
Oh no.
That's
Girls,
fact.
no. The difference is girls move on earlier. That's the like. No, for me. No. Nah, honestly though, like sometimes like when a girl.
Guys, we got
He says this. He goes, yeah, but girls move on quicker, and then you go, no. They move on earlier.
Like as in they will start moving on from your like a girl can stay loyal to you, but if you've been treating her like shit for months, every day you're chipping away at her concept of like who you are, at like your guys' relationship. But like for example, there's like this saying, and like I'm not gonna lie, this is just for me. This is not for all women. It's just for me. I got to a stage where like my body was there, but my emotions were gone. Like if they were treating me like shit, I could be there present, but you're gone from me now
so you're
because you've
saying-
just treated me so badly that I no longer have a good attachment to you. And then eventually, when my heart's already done, then I'll be like, you know what? Actually, I don't want to do this.
Serious question, off of what you're saying. Why do women and men stay in relationships? I mean, this is. I'm not gonna ask you because my relationship's different. But when abused, like you're saying, your body's there, but your mind, your soul, whatever, it's not. It's not with it. Why do they stay? Like, why do people stay?
Wait, I just want to go off that. A woman, when she truly loves a guy and you push her to that point when she's done, she's done.
Yeah.
Like when she's broken up with you, she didn't wake up with that thought like, that
That's
was my
what I
last
mean.
girl.
That's
She
what I
was
mean.
she actually probably was contemplating breaking up with you for months because she was like, this guy's gonna do one more thing and I'm out.
And then
This
she
guy's
moves-
one
no.
thing.
She
And
moves
then-
quick.
No, it's not that she moves quick.
Nah, it's
She was moving on before she broke up with you.
it's
Yeah, girls are,
Really?
no, because think about it. Like, if you're abusive to a woman to a point where she's like,
Oh, yeah,
she'll
yeah,
stay for
that's
the last
understandable.
4 months as a buffer. That's your chance to be like,
Yeah.
For
She's
you
waiting for you to
for
save
you
the
to tell her
relationship.
like, my thoughts are wrong. She's giving you the potential. I call it the potential lease.
I feel like
It's
men
like
are
she gives you
more
a little bit of time.
in
Yeah.
a sense.
Men
that type
are,
of thing where
so.
they'll hold them and they're like, I'm sick of her, but I'll
Yeah.
do all these things to piss her off, and then hopes that she lets her go.
And then there's emotional manipulation,
Correct.
guys will literally do something so wrong and then they'll do one little good thing and we'll be holding on to that
Literally,
good
we're
thing
like
for
potential.
dear life. We're
Literally,
like, please.
literally.
The
It's
thing
like,
is,
oh my gosh.
girls usually, I agree with that. Girls usually clock out before they actually break up. They're already clocked out.
1000%.
But
Absolutely.
The thing with guys is we do the same thing, but most of the time it's like we enjoy the sense of ownership. Like we own her. It's almost like, but the thing is, well, for example, like this.
It's giving objectification of women.
Uh,
Let me
women as property.
It's giving 1800.
Let me clean it up. Like not ownership, but like this. For example, say we break up, yeah. And the guy's mentality is like, nah, I got you. Like you're not moving on, and he'll go do.
Yeah,
his
that's
thing.
called abusive.
Yeah, it's abusive. It's abusive.
Correct.
But so he I got you. So you'll go do your thing. But when he sees you online and it's like, oh, I'm taken, then he's like, he has to come back in his life because he feels like he's lost you. So abusive guys do that. That's how
Yeah.
that's what they do. They take the ownership. They're like, I got it wrapped around my finger.
Mm-hmm.
But when she's like gone, she tries to come. It's like a toxic cycle thing.
But you know, like say they break up off like a cheat or something like that. I feel like it takes women so much longer to move on than guys because when a woman is forced to leave a relationship because she can't look past say cheating and she's like, I have to leave this relationship, she hasn't clocked out of that relationship yet. So she's taking that time to clock out of that relationship before she gets into a new one. And even if she's out there in the streets mucking around, that doesn't mean she's moving on. She's just filling a void. She's just passing the time.
Yeah.
But when she gets booed up, she's moved on.
She's moved on. Yeah.
You're gone.
Nah, for real. Like,
Whereas like men, oh my God, they will go literally 1 month. Sorry. 1 month after the relationship. 1 month after the relationship, a guy will literally be in a full ass relationship with another girl, and then they'll be like,
Yeah.
"Wow,
Be like,
I don't like her as much as I like you." Man, get out of here.
Nah, for
You're
real.
toxic.
No, but I mean, that's a
The thing is,
still learning.
Well, yeah, like
Guys.
women, oftentimes though, women will genuinely have to pick between like self-respect and loving someone.
Yeah.
Like we like and that again, I just need to keep stressing. This is a generalization, people. So like, this is just how we operate. If you talk to other women, they might be like, "Nah, fuck them." For real, that just might be them. But you know, for me, like, I love people a lot. That doesn't mean I've always been consistently like that.
Yeah.
And she has been a witness to a lot of romantic or situationships. Like there was one where like he literally went on a break with me. Same thing. I was hooking up with somebody else. It was completely triggering her because she's extremely loyal. And she was like, "What the heck are you doing?" So this is what I mean. Like we're living proof that that's happened. Like she's like, "What are you doing?" And then I explained to her, this is what he told me. He told me to hook up with whoever. She goes back to him. She's like, she said that's what she said. He's like, "Yeah, I said that." She's like, "Then why are you hurt?" And he's like, "Oh, I didn't mean it."
And then I was like, don't say what you don't mean and then get cut.
Yeah. See, this is the thing is I cut you off. Now, did I still have feeling for him? Absolutely. I thought he was just like, and to be fair, in the nicest way, he wasn't. Yeah, he was okay, but like,
R.I.P.
for real, I still like liked him and I still wanted to invest in him and I still like thought he was a great person. But I was just like, if you're okay with what, like, just letting me go, you don't want me.
Wait,
That's the truth.
Are you still with him?
No, absolutely not.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, no.
Back to your question.
That would be a nice story. So I went back.
Back to Phil's question of why do women stay when
Or men.
stay in those relationships. To be honest, for me, I feel like when you emotionally invest into someone, it is so hard to let go of that investment. And I feel like that's investments in general. You know, like the market be crashing, you're not pulling the rug. You're like, it's gonna come back up. It's gonna come back up one day.
And I feel
Yeah,
the hope that-
it's hope.
I reckon it depends on trauma as well. Like for us, because coming from a household where our
Don't expose me.
I'll speak for me and say, coming from a household where our parents divorced because of cheating, and I'll speak for myself as the reason why I've stuck in relationships where I shouldn't have stuck in was that, man, my parents couldn't make it work. But I'm gonna prove them that even when everything is broken and the house is burnt, like literally on fire, I'm still gonna make it happen. And I feel like it's a trauma response that I probably have to work on. But like again, it depends on everybody's situation. You know what I mean?
See, but I think I'm a bit different in the sense of like, it's not about making it work. I just have the biggest fear of like being our parents.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like getting married and then marrying my dad. Do you know what I mean? And then becoming my mom. Like that's like my biggest fear. Like if a man ever did that to me, it would be unforgivable to me, especially because you tell them like, these are your fears, this is what I want, this is this and that, and they turn around and do that to you. Oh my God, I might go to jail. I might kill him. Cut that out. No, but like yeah, trauma really, like the way you were brought up and the way you relationships are modeled to you is how you put it into relationships that you get into later in life.
100%. I agree.
Yeah. And like further to that conversation, in extremely abusive relationships, there can be a part of you that does not see a way out. That's like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is just it for me. And like, there's like so many psychological factors as to why you don't leave a relationship. One can be just purely you're holding on to something that's not there. Like women every day fall in love with potential. Potential is not real. And that concept to women is like, no, but they could get there. And like, there are some men that do get there, but there's a lot that don't. And in the process, you just break yourself over and over again. And then you're like, and this is something that I've done before. I'm like, why? Like, I'm like blaming him, but it's just like, no, I just fell in love with your potential, not who you are. I just need to move on. So that's one reason. Then like when you really get into the nitty gritty of abuse, there's stats and there's lots of, stuff that I could talk about. But I remember I saw a quote from this movie and it was called Little Woman. And she was like, this was like back in the day, she's like, a marriage is an economical proposition for me. Because back in the day, you were your husband's property. You were, everything that you had belonged to him. Everything you owned belonged to him. All your money. So you got to understand, that wasn't that long ago. Like Little Woman wasn't that long ago. I feel like it was, honestly, I don't want to say the time in case somebody cancels me, but it wasn't like, it was honestly probably less than 200, 300 years ago. But for a long time, women were men's property. So that stigma for some women, and even also generationally, they'll get into a relationship and they're like, this is it. Like church-wise, it's like, it's worse, it's easier to be abused by your husband than to go back to the church divorced. Because the church will then cast you out. So it's like, there's so many factors to why people stay. I don't think there's one, but it's just like, that is something that always irked me, because I'm just like, how can you teach love and then somebody you know, they've got their reasons, okay, why they're not in that relationship. But then you come and you shun them aside.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on. You have no idea. And so lots of people are always like, oh, back in the day, like marriages were better, the divorce rate. No, there's some women that were heavily abused in their marriage.
And they just stayed.
They just stayed because it was like, at the time, it was socially unacceptable to either be unmarried by a certain age.
Yeah.
That's as a woman. Now, obviously, I'm under no illusion that men do not face this exact same things, but I'm just talking from a woman's perspective, and for a long time, we've been men's property. That's just the truth.
Yeah.
And so if you don't see a way out, you will just stay where you are. Some women die that way.
But that,
And yeah.
First of all, some of that was very profound.
Oh.
That was very profound. Thank you for that.
But that's still
Thank you
true
for
to
that.
this day. Like, if a
Yeah.
woman's not married by 30, people start to think like, oh, there's something wrong with
Or
her.
you're
like a
lesbian.
Oh yeah, like you know, or like and even and also like there's just the element of like embarrassment of like, say you've been in a relationship for like 4 or 5 years, and when it breaks up, honestly, a lot of the time it's like, oh, what did she do? Or like it's her, because it's usually like men or society. Sorry to trigger you guys. Love to
Generalization.
love to paint women as crazy. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, guys. We're not talking about the men in the room, just like men.
The old
Yeah.
gaslighters.
Yes, they really
Shout out to the
gaslight women.
gaslighters.
They will literally emotionally manipulate, abuse, and like just do the worst to a woman. And then when she turns around and finally finds her voice, oh, now she's the bad guy. Oh, now she's crazy.
You're a bit
because she's-
outspoken there, miss.
She's going off and she's turning the house upside down.
Yeah, like what I heard back then. I don't know if this is correct, but like if a woman spoke up, she was mental, so they'd put her
Yeah.
in a mental institution.
That's
Absolutely.
crazy.
If you were a writer, they're like, you're weird. Like,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It was like
women
that.
being educated was like, no, you're probably a witch or somebody weird.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I'm like literally just like learning, just opening a book.
And
It's like,
I was
you're-
literally thinking about that. Like, it's so crazy how not long ago, like all these crazy things happened, like Salem, like the
the
burning
Salem
of
witch trials.
witches.
Crazy.
Like people,
Do you
like
guys know what
women
that
were
is?
being burnt
Yes.
because
We didn't go to school. What was it?
So basically, if there was just like, even like just a small thing, like what's something I honestly.
apothecary, like if women like made ointments out of leaves, or like if
Sure.
they spoke well, or if they had premarital sex or whatever, like
You're
they
a
would
witch.
be, you're a witch, you'll be burned
Here you go,
at the
burn.
stake.
Yeah.
But if a man did that, it was like, oh.
Damn.
And this was like not that long ago.
So yeah, so when women are like, men ain't shit, bro, that is like thousands of years worth of trauma. Because like,
let us be traumatized,
and
okay?
so
Let us
like,
feel.
you know, those men out there, they're like, I'm a good man, okay? You do you. We're not talking
Yes.
to you. We're talking to a system that is set
Yes.
up to benefit men. And people are like, why are women so like this and this and that? Honestly, women only got their voice. Like, New Zealand was the first country to let women vote. And we're new. We're like barely 200
Shout out
years
to
old.
Kate Shepherd.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But like simple things like that, like, but yeah, the concept that everything that I have is my husband's. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like
I'm sorry,
even
is it?
now, I feel like even now, like unless you have like a man with you, like women, when women have a good man, it gives her more status. If that makes
Let's
sense.
go.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
all the women in the room are like, look at her, lucky girl.
Yeah. Lucky
She's
gal.
it. She's the one, you know, like she must have something about her. And that's why a lot of women,
We're the same
this
way.
is, do not, this, I 100% believe in this. Women like men that are taken.
That a huh?
Women like men that are taken because
That's
it
a girl
almost,
problem, man.
it almost like
Sure.
assigns him like status.
Yeah.
You know what's buzzy? That you're saying like the status.
Yeah.
I don't think men associate the same way, but only according to appearance.
Yo.
Yeah.
So
100%.
women, I feel like they can see that man is, you know, he's like.
Oh yes, yes, and that's psychological.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter what he looks like, but he's complete and he's
Yeah.
successful.
We love a
in
funny
some
guy.
certain way, yeah. But then if you
We
look at
love
the
it.
men,
Yeah.
and
It's not like that.
this guy walks in the room like, damn.
You could
Look at his missus. And
Like,
A girl
we'll literally be like, wow, fuck, what a lucky cunt.
the girl could be
I love hearing his perspective. I
only
like
based off appearance,
Appearance.
which is sad.
Yo,
So, like,
A girl-
that's sad.
a girl could be broke, living on the street, blah blah blah, a convict, and she could be anything.
Whoa, that's
Wait, I'm not aiming
It's like-
at anybody,
yeah.
but if she is a dime
Like
She's a
to
10
look
out
at.
of
Like-
10.
Oh yeah.
We will look past all of that.
Like-
even if she's toxic.
Yeah, she walks
Even if she's toxic.
everyone.
1000%. 1000%.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and then
And as girls, we see that because we'll see
Oh.
some dudes like get into a relationship with a girl that we'll know, like not like know like our friend or like, but we just know what she's like, and we'll be like, wow, that's really your type.
no, for real. Like, what's
That's
that?
really your type.
I think the first time I realized that was when like. I'm not okay. You know what? I'm just gonna say anonymous person. It was a male, identifying male, and I was like, "Why are you dating? Like, they're so mean to you. Like, they're horrible." And he literally looked at me and went, "She's hot," and I was like,
It's worth it.
what? And then, nah, dead ass. And I was like, I was literally like, and I was probably like, honestly 13, and I was like, oh, okay.
So for the status for the boys, it's that.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
that
which I
But
get.
like, for us,
And-
like a man could be hot as, and if he opens his mouth
And
Yeah.
and the
Yeah,
first thing
yeah.
that comes out of his mouth, I'm like, you're ugly.
for real.
I've seen that happen.
And that's
True,
why,
I
like,
have.
my mum has this really controversial theory. She's like, I believe a guy can get any girl he wants.
I believe that.
But I
Genuinely.
believe girls. Oh,
I believe that.
Oh no, like
I believe I can.
no, yeah, no, exactly, no, for real. No, for real. But the reason that she says that is because women genuinely fall in love with their ears. Like, and if you invest in them, if you put time into them, no, don't get me wrong, there'll be that one person,
Take notes, boys.
there'll be that one
Yeah.
woman that's like, okay, don't take notes and become a manipulator, because
Yeah,
honestly,
monkey.
I'll come fight you in the streets. But my mum has said that, and she's like, I'm like, why do you not think it's that for women? Because I was like, that's such a sexist statement, and my mum's like, no, because women, they can fall in love eventually, even if he's not the most good looking person. Whereas men, she's like, they have to really be attracted to you to even want to go there, or a really good friend, or like, you know, there's got to be some sort of attraction for a man. And I was like, I mean, I don't know the scientific things around that, but when my mum told me that, I was like, that is the most depressing statement I've ever heard in my life. You're telling me I can't get the man that
I
but she
believe
was
your
like,
mum.
no, for real.
I believe it.
The psychological thing is that men look at traits that will provide good features for like their kids and that can bear their kids, and women look for men that will be able to take care of them
And their
emotionally
kids.
and financially.
100%.
Like, oh my gosh, my mum wants to
So
write a book.
looks don't matter.
Literally. Nah, but I mean, for a girl, you could.
I'm like,
But
You're
for a girl, you could be like not the most conventionally attractive man, and if you're like beautiful to her, bro, like. And I don't mean to be like stink, but I've seen some of the most like not conventionally attractive men be with the like hottest woman, and like it's just because of who they are
Yeah.
as a person. But my
that
mum
kind of
has
makes me depressed.
He goes,
honestly.
listen, do you know what he calls himself?
What?
And I hope you guys don't. He goes,
Hey,
we talked about his appearance, and guess what he called himself? He said, he goes, and I don't agree with this. He's a beautiful man. He said this about himself. He goes, I look like wet concrete.
Facts. Facts.
Stop. It's
Look
not
like
fact.
wet.
I can honestly, I don't know if this will help you, but you don't look like wet concrete.
You know, like the restaurant.
Period.
You know how you go to a restaurant, you go to the toilet. There's that wet toilet paper left on the ground.
Stop. You're a
How do we go
beautiful
from wet
man.
concrete to wet toilet paper?
I know.
he's just
Guys, you know, confidence will take you a long way.
Bro,
It's a great
take you
time to be a
anywhere.
guy. It's a great time to be a guy.
It's
That's all I'm
always
gonna
been a
say.
great time to be a
Yeah.
guy. For real,
It's
though.
been
That's
mean.
something, come on.
It's not a,
It's been a great time to be a guy. Like,
it's not a
literally.
coloured guy. No.
Yeah.
Oh, don't cancel. No, but wait, what was I gonna say? No, the point that what did you say about
it's a great time to be a
how
colour guy
women about how women feel? Oh, what she said about like women will look for somebody that takes care of them. My mum has been wanting to write the book for the longest time, and it's called Loving a Man, Choosing a Father. Women genuinely take that into
my
consideration.
gosh.
Bro, honestly, I need my mum to come in here because she is like just one of the brightest, most wisest people I've ever met.
Shout out to-
Shout out to Cheers Vahakolo, love you, mum. But when she said that, I was like, oh my god! Every single person I've told, every woman, every man, they're like, where's that book? I'm like, oh, my mum's trying to write it in her head. But women genuinely are like, you can love a man and know he's not going to be a good father, but it's not like he's going to be a good father like to my kids. It's like, will he like love and nurture my family? Like women, but also like you've got to remember when a woman chooses a man, she has to think about the family. Men don't have that pressure because it's like a woman has to create the home. She has to birth the kids. Like you can't, you might be able to create the home, but you're not able to birth the kids. I mean, unless you have those properties. I don't know everyone out there, but I always do a disclaimer because you just never know. But it's true. Like we genuinely take that into consideration, whether or not you will be able to nurture the home
Yeah.
for us.
But honestly, I feel like some modern women might have lost that. A little
Oh
bit.
yeah, some
But I don't. I feel like
Hugely
I think it's yeah.
Trophy wives, arm candies are definitely a thing.
No, like there are. We
Yep.
grow up like say we grew up in a single mom household,
Yeah,
right?
let's go.
As women, you grow up, you don't want to be a single mom household, and then you get to a point where, oops, I'm a single mom, and I feel like that's on. There's a lot to
unpack there.
unpack there.
There's a lot.
You know, there's a
Yeah, I
lot.
feel like we can really.
There's a lot to unpack, and it's not to blame the woman.
Yeah.
But I think again, it's a blame on society for lack of sexual health. But my thing is like, the consequence of sex is children.
Period.
So if you don't want children, don't have sex.
Like there is, when people are like, but we use, this is the thing, 100% contraception is just not sleeping with each other. People are like, but it's hard. Oh, we know, like literally though,
Yeah.
like that is the only, like, so when people are like, I use the condom, like I did all this, it's just like,
Damn
no,
handbag.
for real, like, okay, no,
Chocolate flavor.
but like, no, but when people are like, I use this, I use that, it's like, girl, guy, whoever you are, the only thing that will not give you children is not sleeping with each
Abstinence.
other. Yeah, which is like, and some people, and honestly, like, I mean, I don't know if this will be censored, but like the porn generation,
Oh my god.
that like the psychological effects of porn on people, like, gotta remember, porn wasn't around like people. Oh, sorry, porn. Like, there's different types of porn that was around back in the day.
Oh, question.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. My brother is sitting here. Sorry. Is porn acceptable in your relationship?
Oh, great
Jack,
question.
Jack, I not at all.
Yo.
I didn't feel like
Honestly, you're probably being so honest right now.
No, I'm like honest, like you know, because there are different people with different perspectives.
I
You're
feel
saying
like
no.
do not have it at all in a relationship. And I feel like people normalize it, guys especially normalize, oh, no, it's okay, I'd rather do this than go and cheat on you. Like they have these type of these type of
Winner chicken dinner.
But I'm saying
Put
it's
that
like,
in the edit.
it's like guys will say these things, these like extreme ultimatums to make the girl feel like,
Correct.
oh, it's okay. Yeah, okay, then you can watch it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at
Again, emotional
But at
manipulation.
the end of the day, it is wrong, and I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Manipulation.
It sets standards up.
It's poison,
that
bro.
you cannot fulfill
Never.
Poison.
with your
Poison.
wife, and even for your wife. If
It's
your wife was to go watch it
disgusting.
herself, you probably wouldn't fulfill what she's looking at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's poison to the
Don't
mind.
cancel us, but
To the spirit, to the soul.
It just feeds
the soul.
lust.
Yeah.
It feeds lust.
It is. It creates a false truth on how women really are because
Yeah.
You know, to this day, I have not watched porn.
good for you.
Me too.
Put a cap on.
Honestly, I mean, like, I was born a preacher's child. Like, I'm a pastor's kid through and through. But like, there's not a time in like I can't say that I haven't. Like, literally, some of that stuff was just like going around school. I was
Bro,
like,
how about
Oh yeah, like
intermediate? That's the first time we saw it.
wow.
like I've
Yeah.
never
And I
ever
feel
gone.
like-
See,
and
that's where I'm like, that's where I'm like, society fails you. Like, to be exposed
Especially
that
for
young,
men, for
for
men.
men specifically, that's where I'm like, nah, that was not your fault. Like, society, your environment, that they failed you there. But yeah, I can't sit here and be like, no, I've never seen that. Absolutely. But people
I've
forget it's a job. Like
Yeah, yeah.
people are like, we need to do this in the bedroom. I'm like, brother, that is like, she's paid. Like,
Yeah.
some of them aren't paid, but it's like, that's a job. They know exactly what they're selling.
Yeah.
They're selling a fantasy. They're selling a dream. But you got to remember, when those cameras cut, it's like, where's my cut? I'm going to have a shower.
And the
also,
sex working industry is so horrific.
There's also like soft porn that's been pushed out.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
MTV,
Oh my
that-
God.
Instagram.
Period.
The gram.
Oh my God,
We've
yes.
accepted TikTok.
Absolutely.
You know? And I feel like that needs to be.
Yeah.
Deleted.
No, but back to
Yeah.
the question: is it acceptable in your relationship?
Definitely not.
No.
Definitely not.
What about you?
Huh? Oh no.
He's not in a relationship, so he's not.
Oh,
Oh no, I mean when you're in one, you know, hypothetical. These are all hypothetical.
If you were in one,
if I was in one,
and she was watching porn, would you be?
would you be okay
with
with
that?
it?
Yeah.
yeah.
Then it's acceptable. Then.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like, dude, I'm like chill.
If you
Like,
cannot be a hypocrite about it, and you guys can both
Yeah.
do it, and you guys will both okay, then okay. I
Yeah.
like that's your guys' relationship. But if you're doing
Yeah.
this, only I can do it, you're not allowed because I'm a guy and you're a girl. Then I'm like, nah, that's wrong. It has to be a
Right.
two-way thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's acceptable.
But I think in general, it shouldn't.
Shouldn't be.
Yeah.
in
Shouldn't be.
relationships. I'm just
Right.
just coming off like what I've
What about
heard.
you? What about you?
No. I'm just like going back to the. If we both do it, then it should be sweet. The reason that I don't encourage porn in a relationship is because that is not real life.
Yeah.
And whether you like it or not, you're indulging into an experience about like. I feel honestly, sometimes I'll be in like at the pool. I feel awkward watching like being next to somebody that's changing. That's their body. That's their private space. That's just me.
Yeah.
But like to watch people indulge in something that I have always believed is supposed to be private and sacred. That is for me like it sends you a message. And whether you like it or not, when you're watching porn, there's so many things going on in your head. And also like. You start getting aroused by porn and you won't even realize it, but there might be like some guys, they'll watch porn so much, there'll be like literally a girl on a billboard, like just in like maybe a bikini, she's selling something, and they'll be like, I'm now aroused because they're just like, it's also like it's an instant gratification of all of the lust that you're feeling. Don't get me wrong, lust is hard, but this generation and this society has just made it so easily accessible for you to just like, oh, I'm just going to go to my room and like, do whatever. But for me, that's a spiritual transaction. Like I don't think people like understand. It's literally like you're in each other. Like you're literally in each other. Like your fluids are mixing. Like so for me, it's an absolute no. And if he wants to do that, we're not in a relationship. Like for me, it's an ultimatum because eventually it will get worse. And men can be like, nah, it's cool. Like it's fine. And I'm just like, no. I number one don't want to be upheld to that standard. And number two. If you're not going to take responsibility for the psychological effects that it has on you and the further psychological effects it'll have on our family, because if our son wants to do it, you'll be like, oh, sweet. Then that's just not a relationship I want to be a part of personally. But if you do it, like I'm not like, oh, don't watch porn. I'm just like, not for me.
Nah,
Not
to
for
be
me.
honest, I
Thank
feel
you.
like
See, that was
that was.
once again, Summer. Thank you. I feel like everything I want to say, you're just like, bam.
I'm actually just repeating Phil's mind. He's actually.
So, I love it.
I'll be honest, you're actually very onto it, straight up.
Okay.
I'm thinking this.
Oh,
You're actually very onto
Sorry.
it. But on that note, I like not even in just relationships. I feel like not at all, especially for guys.
Yeah,
Not at all.
100%.
Personally, same.
100%.
It is just
Poison, bruh.
It is evil.
poison.
Habibi, listen to me. Don't do that. It's a sin.
But it's
This guy's lying. He said it was okay like literally 10 minutes ago. He's like, it's fine.
No, but see, so that means you changed his perspective, and I like that.
Yo.
Yeah. No, it's,
But no, genuinely though, like if that's what you're doing, like there's no shame in that. I'm just saying,
But-
you've got to know if you're gonna do that, you got to know what it's doing.
what it
to
comes
you.
with. What it comes with.
But
Exactly,
also sex is an addiction, and that's something.
Yeah.
But like, let's
don't
say
talk
you grew
about
up in
either.
a society that had no pornography at all, you would realize that sex is sacred and it doesn't become an addiction.
Exactly.
That's really
Yeah.
toxic or poisonous to you, because you don't view sex in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a certain part of sex that I think will always
Yeah,
be addictive. Like,
yeah.
not to be.
It's-
No,
it's the
I get what you're
pleasure.
saying though. I get what you're saying.
It's the chemical. It's the pleasure. It's the instant
The
gratification.
fluids mixing.
No, yeah. No, I get what you're
I was
saying.
like,
Come on, man.
No, but like, nah.
I get what you mean.
Nah,
but I'm
but
saying
you know
sex
what?
is addictive because you get instant gratification.
No, but for real though, like people, when you tell it to them bluntly, when you put things in simple terms, people be like, oh, that is what it is. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, that's abusive behavior. And then you explain it out and they're like, oh, that is abusive. And you're like, yeah, I know. But like, it's just literally that simple for me. I'm just like, literally, you're all up in my grill. Like, for real. That is where we're at. That's so close. Why would you just, why would I watch somebody else do that? That's just personally for me.
Yeah.
Now, I want to be real frank. And I mean, if this is or not, honestly, I just want to be open about it because it's not talked about enough with girls. I have watched porn before and it completely changed the chemistry of my brain. Like, for real. And it was not something that I was proud of and I had intense shame about it. And then I asked other girls like, hey, is this, it was honestly like accidental. Like it was when the Kim K and like Ray J thing came out and that was just everywhere. And I like clicked on it and I literally watched it. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't turn my head away. I was like, what the hell is happening? This is crazy. And so I asked other girls about it and they're like, it's actually something that's really common in the female community, but nobody talks about it because there's a lot of shame around it. So if you like, if you're watching porn, like I'm not saying you should like, you're a bad person or you should be shameful. You just have to understand it will alter your brain chemistry. There's things that will happen to you and that you'll feel because of it. and there's, it's a transaction. Media is always a transaction, but you've got to find, like, and I mean this, like, you've got to find some help. I'm not saying it's not okay for some people. I understand you go do you do, but I just knew that for me, as somebody that values that transaction being extremely private, I had to, like, literally, because if it happens once, your brain just wants to go back.
Yeah.
It's stink, but it's just the truth.
It's a drug.
It's a drug.
It's a drug.
It's a drug.
And churches,
so
it's
addictive.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you the truth. Like, for example, yes.
Yeah.
In somebody that has indulged in that,
Yeah.
I'll tell you that because it's very emasculating. But the reason why I feel emasculated, because somebody put it into me like this, say, and the greatest in the world, we're talking Albert Einstein, blah, blah, blah. Everybody had their muse. Like when they say muse, they're women. And it was their greatest push in life. And he goes to me, look, you put the most beautiful girl on the Mount Everest and then put two guys at the bottom. And he goes, one guy indulges in stuff every day. One guy has never touched a girl or anything. And who is aroused enough to climb that mountain to reach his muse? And the guy goes, the guy that's indulging it every day, he's not climbing. And then I go, what do you mean? That girl on the mountain can be anything. It could be your goals. It could be your dreams. It could be being this. It could be being that. When you indulge in that stuff, you got to remember that as men, that's our life force. That is so strong that it can create life. It is so strong that it can make a baby. So if you're out there, like, doing that stuff daily, it is unnatural. And you shouldn't be doing that daily. But I am not beating you up for it. I'm just speaking from my perspective, my experience. Yeah.
But I think that also can be seen just at a psychological level in general. Like when you're not practicing delayed gratification, and by delayed gratification, it means like working for something and not being satisfied straight away, and like looking forward to getting that reward later, and you're living your life every day in your life. You're just practicing instant gratification, such as say drinking and partying every day, and even like vaping, like getting a nick hit and like things like that. You're practicing instant gratification. You are less likely to be enticed by delayed gratification, even if the reward is bigger. Because why would you delay? What's the word? Why would you hold yourself back from getting a quick hit for something bigger when you can just keep getting little hits every day? Do you know what I mean? So that's
why that guy doesn't climb.
And that's why that guy doesn't climb, because that guy that's practicing instant gratification, he doesn't need that hit because he's already getting minor hits here and there. And then whereas the other guy, he sees the reward, which is why he can put it off.
And the thing, we talk about fasting a lot, eh? And I feel like fasting applies to everything in life. And fasting, not just fasting with food, fasting with abstinence. I 100% like I'm a guy that practices like abstinence in a male, as a male, because I feel like it's important for a male to like upgrade, evolve. Not saying that you need to abstain to evolve, but like
self-control.
It's
a fruit of the spirit.
Discipline.
And fasting applies to everything. If you can apply fasting like correctly to anything in your life, I feel like you'll flourish, thrive even in anything. G. Straight up, I believe that.
Even have social media fasts.
Yeah, man.
Like people don't realize how healthy that can be for them. Like how, just having.
It's the beauty in being uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't just live comfortable every day, because then it just becomes, if you climb Mount Everest every day and that's your comfortable, it's going to be boring. It's going to get boring. You know what I mean? So then you got to find a bigger mountain.
Always, yeah.
Thoughts. Sorry, I know it's like.
Yeah, I want to hear what you have to say about the situation.
Yeah, what is this conversation making you think? I feel like I can just see your like.
He's simmering. He's like.
Synapses.
Just don't watch porn, eh? Just don't do that.
But I think the message is not to tell you don't watch porn.
Yeah.
But it's to stress the importance of like when you do things, be the driver in your life.
Yeah.
Don't just like be on the passenger side and let life drive you. You know, everything that you do, every decision you make has a consequence. And by consequence, everyone always attributes consequence and negative together. But consequences can be either positive or negative. And if you're watching porn every day, if you understand the consequences, by all means, do it. But but do it. But we're trying to state that, like, when you watch porn, it's not just watching porn.
It's learning new moves.
And that's what she means by altering your brain chemistry.
100%.
There is something going on psychological, you know, and you could be like, oh, I'm mentally strong, I'm this and that. If you made that a habit, it would, when you make things habits, it really rewires the way that you think.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just by, like, when Phil's talking about, like, social media fasts, or like even like that's what I mean by being a drive in your life. Everything that you listen to, that you read, whether it be an ad, whether it be a billboard, whether it be like interactions between you and your friends, or just like a random stranger, like, that has an effect on you. And you need to be able to discern what that effect is, to be able to say, like, do I want this in my life, or do I want to put it in the trash? Because if you don't put anything in the trash and it just all comes into you, that is a lot of energy to, like, process and to exchange as well, which is why I feel like a lot of us feel so drained in this society, because it's constant exchanges, whether like TikTok, I could mind-numbingly scroll on scroll on TikTok for yonks, and when you're doing it, you don't feel like you're taking anything in. It's just like, send to friend, send to friend, you know, like, but even like simple things like watching TikTok every day, you're getting little hits, you know, like it can become an addiction. Your phone can become an addiction. Dopamine. Like, the chemicals in your brain is literally telling you to continue scrolling because it's giving you a good little hit.
Good feeling.
Yeah. So I think the takeaway is be the driver of your life. Like, if you watch porn, okay, cool, you do that. How does that affect you? Because you cannot sit there and be like, I watch porn every day and it doesn't affect me at all.
Jack.
You know, you got to be aware of what you're putting in you, like food, you know?
Your body has a natural way of telling you what's right and wrong.
Yeah.
And I know, like, an honest truth, that every time you do it, you naturally feel
Guilty.
bad,
There's a
and
guilt
you know.
to
So I love what you guys shared, and I think it's amazing what we've covered. Especially around the area of cheating. And I also feel like pornography has an effect to
1000%.
our people in a way that it can create or influence that type of mindset where they cheat and they think that that's okay. But is there anything else we'd like to add before I think it's time we could wrap it up, or
No, just,
you know, I just wanted to thank you guys. Honestly, just so grateful to have our sisters here today, because what they've shared is amazing and 100% truth. Like, I believe in a lot of things you guys shared, especially to Dustin and Malcolm. So thank you. Anything else you want to add?
just take control of your life.
Yeah.
And just one more thing of, like, you know, when your body tells you something's wrong, if you do it long enough, your body will literally turn it off. Turn that thing off that tells you it's wrong, because it's like, well, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
you're not listening.
the
moral compass goes.
The moral compass breaks,
Literally.
You're literally breaking yourself.
Yeah.
But
So take control, guys.
just take control. Be
Love
in control
yourself.
of your life
You know, learn to love yourself
and grow.
and grow. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I love how it turned into like a motivational.
I know.
Yeah.
No, but thank you guys.
You can nurture your
Literally-
nature.
Literally, Summer, you were so onto it.
Oh, chair.
I was like,
Onto it.
Shani,
I've had a lot of problems.
nah, you were onto it. You guys are both
Amazing.
onto it.
Yeah.
Thank you. I can tell there was a voice of experience there. There's a voice of. I can tell that it's not like.
I think you two
Well,
need to share your thoughts often.
Oh, we're thinking
Oh my
about
gosh,
doing
we
a
were just
podcast.
thinking about that, actually.
We've been like pondering on it for 2 years.
And also just like, there's not a lot of Pacific women. Like I'm a pastor's kid, but like I freely talk about sex because I know there's not enough resources.
Yeah.
So like, the only thing that I want to add is just like, I mean, I don't know if there's a way if we can add links for people to look into, because sharing our opinions, you got to understand this is just one man, one woman, one person's opinions. But the aim, like the intention of, I think specifically in this area, was to help and was to say that you're not alone in that situation or that emotion or how you feel that you're not alone. And it's just not shame yourself about it. It's just like you gotta, it happened. Like I just literally for the first time ever openly was like, I've watched porn. Like, and that's not something that's easy for me. But if it tells somebody else that like you're not, and I think we like to believe that we're alone in a lot of experiences, but there's a lot of shared experiences and there's things that we've all shared that I'm super touched with as well, that like I'm going to go home and definitely ponder on. But there are resources out there now, and if there's not, like I don't know if there's a way you can feedback to us about it, but there is better help out there. There's not the best help, I'm not going to lie, there is not the best help, but there is something out there, and I really feel just don't shame yourself. It'll make it worse. Do not shame yourself 100%. About it. It's human. Like we're all human, I'm not perfect. Like I might have said some things that I was like, okay, yeah, that made sense. But I'm like far from perfect. I mean, Sadie could tell you stories. But if you can get help and if you can't, try your best to reach out for help because, you can't do everything by yourself.
Yeah. At the end of the day, this is almost like this podcast is almost like a disruption to your thought process. So you can watch it. Oh, I didn't think about that. There's always a level of self-awareness to everything.
Yeah.
So you can be like, oh, so that's why I do that. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to ask yourself, why do I do this? Why do I do that?
Yeah.
Why do I? And that's when you everyone talks about, breaking out the matrix. Shout out to Andrew Tate.
And I mean, but also just know that we could be wrong.
Yeah.
Like if it doesn't relate to you, don't be like people will literally grab onto a celebrity and be like, everything you say is the word, my word. And it's like, we could be wrong about you. Like, I'm not saying everything I say is correct. And I need to say that because people will go on media. Like there's so many things that media tell you that are completely false. So this is not like, if you think we're wrong, you think we're wrong. And like we might not be a cup of tea and that's actually okay. And that's fine. Again, one person's opinion. Yeah. So just like take it with a grain of salt, literally a little grain of salt, but exactly like,
and if you don't agree, you don't agree.
Oh, 100%. Like no hard feelings.
It is all, we can only speak from personal experience.
Exactly.
We can only speak from that.
And we can only speak with what we know guys. Right now. Because we might think something totally different next week.
Trying to wrap it up. And we are literally dragging it on.
Hey, but like I said, start your guys' podcast. We're glad that
and you guys can go for gold.
He's literally saying, so grateful. Hurry up. So grateful to have you guys on.
So
that was bro code for shut up.
He's feeling a liquor.
Have a look out. The sisters are coming in with their podcast. But thank you so much, guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Have a good night.
And let's go.
Let's go.